Senior writer Noah Rothman for the National Review just wrote, "Colorado Democrats think you're an idiot," and joins us now. I lived in Colorado for 3 years, so I think I understand this a little bit better than most. It does not surprise me. My first thought when reading this was, wow, if this is what the Colorado State Legislature is working on, things must be really good in Colorado.
Yeah, you would think all other problems are resolved except for your neighbors. They're the biggest issue that we're all going to have to confront. Not you, of course. You, good sir, have the common sense and good taste to understand that when you combust fossil fuels, they emit CO2 and carbon monoxide. Imagine that. Just think, in this piece, I try to imagine the average Coloradan who would experience seeing this sign. This person gets up out of bed that they own, lives in an apartment or a house that they rent or have purchased, has a bunch of clothing and food and hygiene products that they've sifted through via market signals and competing enterprises, and they have a car that they probably own. And so they pull up to the gas station having made all these informed choices and are confronted with this sticker that conveys to them that their lawmakers think they're a drooling idiot who can barely navigate life without a government Sherpa holding their hands. I mean, it's a sort of paternalism that does kind of grate on you, and it manifests in public policy that has the effect of either making life marginally more expensive or more annoying. And yeah, you're going to come off as condescending if you think other people need your help, otherwise they're going to stick a fork in their eye. Yeah, it's not an endearing trait.
Or they might buy gas for their car without the help. I'm fascinated, especially by Colorado, because there's so many parts of this, right? Including it as a state where 20% of the state in 2021, we can assume that number has gone up, smoked cannabis within the past 30 days. According to the environmental downside of cannabis cultivation, cannabis emits potent VOCs called terpenes that, when mixed with nitrogen oxide in sunlight, form ozone-degrading aerosols. In a high desert zone like Denver, where normally there are very few sources of VOCs, any new source of such pollutants would likely lead to ground-level ozone production. I don't know, but I feel like people who are smoking weed in Colorado are contributing to global warming, and that's the problem.
Yeah, of course. I mean, probably at least marginal contributions to greenhouse gas emissions, yes, which we're expected to be very sensitive toward because that contributes to your individual carbon footprint, right? If you presented that argument and that very specific case to the people who are advocating for these warning labels, I think you'd get a completely different argument. You would hear, oh, these individuals are making informed choices by themselves about the health, about their individual health choices, their individual recreation choices. Who are we to judge, sit in judgment of those choices?
I think look, I agree with the whole libertarian concept at all, almost to a default. How then does the right, which I think rightfully is a little bit scornful of what's happening in Colorado, then turn around and say, but we need RFK Jr. to ban food dyes, otherwise we can't figure out what to eat?
Yeah, so this is just partisanship and raw naked partisanship, which, the Republican conservative libertarian instinct to object to the exercise of power that is arbitrary in order to shape the way other people live because other people are living wrong is something that Republicans were allergic to when conservatism was the lodestar. Today, national populism is the lodestar on the right. And that has a very different relationship with the power of the state and how the state can be used to affect and nudge and shape the choices you make in life. Those are very different philosophical outlooks, but they are both
an intellectually honest man. We don't find those very often on television. Noah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.